So with the recent events that happened in chapter 256, from the reveals and the information we got from Dante, I think it's the perfect time now to talk about devil percentages. Going over what we know and how they work exactly, and how does Dante's statement apply to Asta on the ability to go 100%, as he is also a devil-possessed user. So for starters, back in chapter 235, in the beginning of the onslaught for the Golden Dawn, we learned from Gatoroyce, one of Xenon's dark disciples, that Xenon can go up to 80% devil power. And then we seen in chapter 238, his battle against Yuno, he used 55% devil power, even though we know that he really didn't need to at that time. And then when I seen the spell that Xenon used against Yuno pretty much put him in a box, I started to theorize months ago that I truly believe that the Dark Triad have two types of magic, one for their devils and one for themselves. And then we find out it's true in chapter 252 that Lord Bachiga stated that the Dark Triad members have two types of magic. And the best example of this is how Vanica was utilizing her blood magic and ridiculous curse magic. And upon going 70%, a spell was activated. It was her curse warding magic, Decaying World, which was an extreme overpowered spell. In chapter 242, we seen how Dante used 50% while fighting Asta, and then we seen how he used 60% when Vanessa's red thread of fate kept interfering. We then see in chapter 256, in the most recent chapter, he uses the max power that he can for now, which is 80%, which gave him 2 extra wings and 2 extra horns, in the top half of his face covered in black. We also know that he has 2 different types of magic, which is some sort of healing magic type, but we just don't know the name of it for now. Dante explains to Yami that the Dark Triad cannot use 100% of their power because they're sharing power with other devils in the underworld, and unless the underworld is open, the door of it, then they can use 100% of their power. Now, I talked about this in my chapter breakdown and I explained why this makes sense, but if you missed that video, don't worry, I'll go over it again. In chapter 222, Dorothy explains to Noel that unless there is some sort of anomaly, devils cannot appear in our world. Mages can use forbidden magic, contract with them by paying a price of some sort and use their power in a limited way, but that's about it. I believe that right there explains the Dark Triad in its entirety. They use their devil powers but in a limited way. Now, what was the price they had to pay for this? We're not really sure, but I believe the contract is a sign, is the curse mark that they have. Back in chapter 246, Dante did not have the curse mark in his flashback. So this lets us know that this is the Dark Triad before they dabbled in forbidden magic and tried to make contracts with the devils. Now, one thing about Dante's statement on the ability to go 100% full power by opening up the door of the underworld, he wasn't too sure about Asta's devil. And I believe he's unsure because Asta's devil operates in a different way. Asta's devil, he's not sharing his power from the underworld, but through his grimoire. It was explained to us in chapter 1 that the 5-leaf clover, with that it resides a devil. People of the Spade Kingdom have Spade Grimoires, not 5-leaf clovers, so a devil cannot be inside a Spade Kingdom's grimoire. But I believe this is what makes the Clover Kingdom's grimoire very special, because we've seen how Zagrid, he's one of the devils that escaped. He wasn't summoned, he escaped, and the first thing he wanted was a 5-leaf clover grimoire because it would utilize his full ability of his devil powers. He could have got a Diamond Kingdom Grimoire or a Fused one or a Heart Kingdom or Spade Kingdom, but no, he specifically chose a 5-leaf Grimoire. So that lets us know there is something special about the Clover Kingdom Grimoires, and I believe I will say that for a different video. But I believe Asta is that anomaly that Dorothy talked about, and he's not bound by the rules of going 100%. Just like the Dark Triad, I believe he can go 100% in his own way since his devil is in the world, but he just inside the grimoire. Now, we don't know how the anti-magic devil was summoned, or did he escape? There's a lot of different things you can theorize around that, but we're just not sure. But the question is, was Asta a part of a sacrifice and that's why he has no mana? Well, Julius did state in chapter 216, black horns are proof that humans have ventured off into the realm of forbidden magic and had dealings with the world beyond this one. They are known as a curse called Weg, and Nero falls into this place, and also even though they don't have horns, but William and Charlotte falls into this place, and the Dark Disciples. Now, we later found out that Julius was wrong about this when it came to Asta because Asta is not the one that is cursed, which was revealed to us later on by Gordon's father. He talks about that despite the fact that Asta has no mana, he is perfectly normal. So is it possible that Asta's parents did some sort of sacrifice for Asta that he won't have any mana, but in exchange he will not be cursed as well? It's possible. And since if Asta is from the Spade Kingdom, it's very likely that his parents did some sort of contract with the anti-magic devil, and he waited till Asta was old enough to receive a grimoire so that when Asta is going to the Grimoire of Towers, he would choose him. Just because Asta and him will be more compatible, and also grimoires are connected to the soul. So the anti-magic devil knew Asta will receive the 5-leaf clover grimoire, and it's not too far-fetched to say that devils know and can see someone's soul, because we've seen how in chapter 205 how Zagrid knew that Patri will one day get a 4-leaf clover grimoire. He said, "Shall I sow more seeds of disaster, a soul which a 4-leaf clover dwells deeper despair and tragedy." He was talking about Patri, and then we see Patri receiving a 4-leaf clover grimoire later on when he was resurrected. So it's likely that Asta's anti-magic devil is interconnected with Asta's parents and waited for Asta to grow up just so he can choose him. And another connection why the anti-magic devil is connected maybe to Asta's parents, because soon as Dante he has struck Ghost, we seen how Asta went berserk, and we seen a flashback of Asta's mother. The main big 3 villains of this arc are connected to our main big 3 protagonists of this arc, so it's very likely Asta was part of the sacrifice to one day take down the Dark Triad. Another notable thing that could be completely different from Asta and the Dark Triad is the language that is on the grimoire. We have not seen the language that is on the Spade Kingdom's grimoires yet for the Dark Triad, but for Asta's we have, and it's devil language. So I believe that this also is a different source of power that Asta can tap into. If he goes into depth with his devil powers and his percentages, he can speak the language of a devil. We seen how Zagrid, when he took Patri's 4-leaf clover, and once he became a 5-leaf, he was able to utilize his full ability, summoning powers from the underworld, speaking the language of devils. So it's very likely that Asta also has this ability. He also utilizes powers with his anti-magic sword, so he really doesn't need to utilize the power of his grimoire, but I think that once he raises up his devil percentages more and more, he could get to that point if the anti-magic devil fully takes control of him. But honestly, he has a strong resistance. We've seen that in the Witch Forest arc, so it'll be a long time for the anti-magic devil to fully take control of Asta. Now, some people believe that if Asta was to go fully 100%, he would lose his humanity, just like how Demon Licht lost his humanity. But I think that case is different, especially given the fact that Licht increased his negative mana and also the magic stones to become a giant demon like that. And I think that if Asta was to become like that and lose his humanity, watch out, because the anti-magic devil will wreck everyone. But I think that probably would not happen, but who knows. I do believe if Asta was to increase his devil percentages to that degree, I believe he'll be far beyond stronger than Demon Licht, because anti-magic to that level of degree, I believe his swords would not be the only thing to worry about. We've seen how Demon Licht was able to use different abilities in that form. We will see probably anti-magic beams destroying cities, and that would be ridiculous and that would be hard to handle. I think the highest percentages that Asta can use at the current moment is probably around 30 to 40% of devil power. Because we see that Asta, he is getting more horns, he is getting more wings, also a tail. I think it's safe to say it has to be around that 30 to 40%, or even 50, but just 50 in his own way, because not all percentages are equal, because depending on the mage's base power in itself and also the power of the devil, since there is a hierarchy in devils. When we learned that from Dante's devil Lucifero, that Asta's devil could be a low rank, but we don't really know for sure. Asta's devil could be a high rank, but just a outcast to the high rank devils, because he has no magic, he has no mana, he has anti-magic. But I believe the higher the percentage that Asta will go in this arc, the more he will find out about his anti-magic devil, and the more higher the percentage that he will go up to. I'm excited to see what's in store for us of the new abilities that he will obtain. So if you're excited about that, let me know in the comment section and let me know your thoughts about this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like on it, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe and notification bells on. Follow me on Twitter, the link is in the description. Join my Discord, that's in the description as well. Again, like, subscribe, have an awesome life, take care of yourselves, and I'm out.